Now, well, in this online class, dear student, as we know, we are studying the chapter Impact of the British Rule. Today, only to show this page is shown. As we know, we have already covered this one, right? Okay, is my voice clear? Is my voice clear? Through your chat box, please inform me. Okay, thank you. Welcome to you all in this online class. Dear student, as you know, today we will explain some important topics, or we will discuss some important topic of this chapter, Impact of the British Rule. Under this chapter, we have already discussed the education under British, right? As you know, some important facts we have already discussed. For example, the educational centers, those which were in existence before the company rule, they were, or these institutions were Pathshala, Maktabs for elementary education, and tolls and Maktabs, right? And tolls and Maktabs were for higher education. Okay? In this way, there were two types of main educational centers. These were Pathshala and Maktabs, and tools and madrasa. Pathshala and Maktabs were used for elementary education, and tools and madrasa were for the higher education, right? Actually, they impart the education in India before the rule of East India Company. But the education was not widespread. The scope of subject was not very wide, right? It was limited. Education was limited, right? And it was limited to religious books. Is it clear? And vernacular language, local languages were used in this institution, and arithmetical tables were taught. I mean religious books and learning arithmetical tables. Did what? Now next is what? Education under the British. We have already discussed, right? Under the British, as we know, we have learned that many steps were taken, and this was Charter Act, as we have already studied. Charter Act, role of Lord Macaulay. Now we have already learned. If you have book, you can see. We have also studied about the controversy between Orientalist and Anglicist, right? These all were taught by me. After that, you have learned some steps were taken by Lord Macaulay to provide Western education in India. What was the main motto of Lord Macaulay or Thomas Macaulay? You have already learned. As you have learned, his basic aim was to make the Indians mentally slave, right? He want to make a supporter class of the British by providing the education to Indians, because you have learnt his all the dialogue that he said, we must go, we must do our best to form a class who may be interpreter ah, between us and millions whom we govern. A class of persons Indian in blood and color, but English in taste and opinion. The basic aim of English education was what? To provide such a type of education now which make Indians able to favor them. They wanted to make Indians the British by their taste and opinion. By their taste and opinion. This was the main aim of education launched by the British in India. In which way he wanted to provide Western education. But there were some persons who disliked it and they were Orientalists. They said that English should not be adopted as the medium of education in India. It should be Eastern language like Sanskrit, Hindi, Persian, Arabic. But Anglicists were not in support. They supported this view that medium of English or education must be what? Must be English, right? Must be English. Uh, is it not visible? Is screen visible? Please tell me. Is screen visible? No, sir. Okay. Just now I am trying my best. Is it visible? Is it visible? Is it visible? Okay, very good. So in this way, yes, in this way, these were the two classes. And Orientalists supported the of traditional system of what? Education in Sanskrit and Persian language, right? In Persian and Sanskrit language. Is it clear? But Lord Macaulay supported the Anglicist. Lord Macaulay supported the Anglicist who was in the support of what? English as the medium. Now, my dear student, be ready to answer one difficult question. You have to tell me uh, any 3 points that differentiate Orientalist to Anglicist. I mean, question is, what were the differences between the Orientalist and Anglicist? Right? So first, what was Orientalists were supporter of traditional system, while the Anglicists were supporter of Western system of education. First point. Second, Orientalists wanted to provide education in Sanskrit and Persian languages, while the Anglicists were in favor of English language. Two. Third, the Orientalists supported this traditional system of education means education should be based on Eastern learning, our Eastern culture, while Anglicists supported this view that the topic or essence or the Western education should be based on वेस्टर्न लर्निंग्स, वेस्टर्न ज्ञान, नॉलेज पर आधारित हो, जबकि ट्रेडिशनल क्या चाहते थे? जो हमारे ईस्टर्न कंट्रीज के कल्चर हैं, इंडिया का जो कल्चर है, जो सिस्टम है, उसको हाईलाइट किया जाए. तो ये दीज वेर द बेसिक डिफरेंसेस. एज यू नो, Such a type of question is not given in your uh, textbook, right? Textbook. So inside question can be asked. So be ready to answer this type of questions. I think it is clear. Now next you have learned about, right, this one. Okay. In this book, in this chapter, we have also studied, actually in this question, as we know, right, uh, we have learned that what steps were taken by Lord Macaulay and why Macaulay wanted to provide this education. It is already clear that he has no any interest in the development or progress of Indians, right, through education. Actually, he uh, wanted to create such a class in India, right, that can support to the British, right. So in this way, here you see this chapter, this topic we have already studied in uh, PPT. So I do not want to highlight all these things because I have to go forward. Here we have already discussed about the Woods dispatch. All the points are discussed here. All these points are here. Yesterday we have discussed. Now next is what? First, this one you have already learned, right? And next, you have also learned about the Hunter Commission. In slide, all the points are mentioned. After that, you have learned about the Indian University Act of 1904, in which Lord Curzon uh, checked the growth of the higher education in India. Why? Because he used to believe what he believed. He used to believe that the educational institution in India were producing what? Political revolutionaries who were against the British. So Curzon did not want to take this risk that the person who are taught by the British were going against the British. Is it clear? So he passed an act that was called Indian University Act of 1904, according to which the growth of higher education in India was checked. Naturally, it annoyed all Indians, and it also became one of the major cause of the freedom movement in India, because Indians decided to remove the power of British from India. Now next, after that you have learned what? You have learned about the Wardha scheme, right? You have learned about the Wardha scheme. Have you understood? In Wardha scheme, that was proposed in 1937, and in this regard, initiative was taken by Gandhiji. Actually, Gandhiji was deadly against the British education policy because he used to believe that the British education creates what? Inferiority and develop the master slave mentality, right? That is why he disliked this education, and he wanted to provide such an education that can inculcate, that can help the British, that could help the Indians to inculcate basic values or morals, right? Like discipline, obedience, patriotism, nationalism, right? So all these things he wanted to bring in education. It is why he started this uh, started the protest of the British education policy, and he launched a national education policy. He proposed a national education policy that would inculcate truth moral like truth, right? Moral like truth, justice, goodness, right? And what? Self-esteem, self-respect, dignity among the masses, among the all people, among all the people, right? Have you understood? If question comes why Gandhiji opposed the British education policy, you have to write because he believed that the English education used to create a sense of inferiority, and it used to make the Indians mentally slave to the British. It was not capable to produce or to help the Indians to inculcate some values, basic values or morals like truth, goodness, justice, and a sense of self-respect and dignity. It is why he opposed this system and proposed a national education policy, a national education system that could inculcate truth, goodness, justice, a sense of self-respect and dignity among the Indians. I hope if this type of inside question comes, you will able to answer all these questions properly and you will succeed to get or to score maximum marks. Now, next important step to provide education in India by the British was the National System of Education that was passed in 1943, according to which universal education was made universal, compulsory, and free. Right? A national system of education was proposed in 1943, according to which it was decided that the children between the age of the children between the age of 6 to 14 years, right, must get education at any cost. I mean, according to the national system of education, universal, compulsory, and free education was systematized for the children between 6 to 14 years of age. And its second basic aim was to bring, right, what? All round development of the students. And it is why since now, till now, since the days, many proposals, many provisions of this scheme are even nowadays have been implemented by the government of India or after the independence, right? For example, you can ask, sir, give one example. As we know, today, for compulsory education, right to education is given to all of us, according to which it is decided that all the children between the age of 6 to 14 must have to go to school. I mean, must have to get education. It is compulsory to get education that is free and universal. Is it clear? So in this type, if question comes, write about the main features of national system of education. You can write all these points. Is it clear? Let me to erase this line. And actually, the main aim of my teaching to this chapter in this way is what? To make you suitable, right? To make you fit for making question answer by your own. How can you frame the question answer from the chapters during the self study, right? So in this way you have to prepare. Is it clear? If you have any problem, you can ask. Okay. Now next is what? This one. one chapter is one point, some points are missing here. So please, if you have the book, you see, yesterday we have discussed about the positive impact and negative impact of education. You see the page number 136. You know, positive impact. What, how can question can be asked? Explain the education provided by the British company in India proved a boon for Indians, or what were the merits of the British education policy in India. You will have to write, you have to learn that first time a new language was launched in India as the medium of education, and whoever studied in English medium school or who got the Western education in all over India, they felt the sense of unity among them because their way of communication or means of communication was same, right? Their language can be understood by the many person, I mean those who are studying in such schools in different parts of India. And actually it brought the unity among them. So this is the basic feature or positive points. After that, this education also led them to or helped them to widen their understanding, right? It saved them from narrow mindedness. Actually, before this education, they were unknown to the basic features of European cultures or some humanitarian values. When they got the education in English, they studied the books of other countries, European countries, and other countries, and they learned some basic values from them, and they compare these values from their own countrymen or society. No doubt, from Vedic culture, we have been inculcating many values, but some drawbacks had entered in course of time, and it made the people narrow-minded. When they got the education and learned a lot about other cultures, actually it widened their scope of thought or thinking. So English education also proved a boon for us. Next, a surge of nationalism spread in all parts of India and among sections of society. Actually, when unity began to develop in India, the people of different parts of country began to feel oneness. They began to support the cause of others. Now, in the nick of time, they began to support each others, and slowly, a sense developed that whole India is of them or of us, right? They left to divide them between the lines of caste, creed, community, region, religion, etc. And they developed a view that all Indians are one. So we should support, we should cooperate, we should sacrifice for each other. Is it clear? So this is the main points. Next is what? It created awareness about the ideals of equality, liberty, fraternity, and democracy. No doubt, uh, we had no freedom. I mean, liberty was not with us. Equality was also not with us. We are not equal. Neither the government supported this equality, nor we, the social division, I mean, people of India, was supporting this equality because our Indian society was divided into many castes, creed, community, touchable, untouchables, so on and so forth. And the government also was not applying the policy of equality. But this education help us to know the reality of British also. What reality? They were teaching us about their own culture, where there was liberty, equality, right, freedom, fraternity means brotherhood, no sense of untouchable. There was equality in Europe, but they were not implementing equality in our own country, right? It is why awareness is spread among the Indians. That government whose country is rich in these qualities or features were not implementing the same policy in India. So they began to oppose them and they tried their best to gain liberty, equality, fraternity in their own country. Okay. Next, it created awareness about the need of social and religious reforms. There were so many social and religious drawbacks in our society about which we will read just after this page, right? Like sati system, right? Like sati system, you see here, like sati system, female infanticide, right? Child marriage, विडो remarriage act तो बाद में हुआ पास हुआ यानी विडो there was no permission to any widow to be remarried to remarriage I mean marriage again. So these were the social drawbacks. It was ousted because the educated Indians opposed it and it was a result of Western education also. Next is educated women like Sarojini Naidu joined the national movement. I mean, women also begin to get education, right? And in this way, it was the positive aspect of Western education that it helped the Indian women to be educated. Now, apart from it, there were some demerits also. What were the demerits? These demerits were it created division between English educated Indians and the rest of Indians, right? I mean, those who are well educated in English medium, they began to uh, highlight themselves as the superior class of Indian society. Next, indigenous literature and thought were ignored. I mean, only European culture related books, knowledge, learnings were published or taught in the institutions, and our Indian thoughts, Indian philosophy, Indian doctrines were ignored. So the growth of our the literary growth of Indian were checked, were blocked. British textbook glorified the British administration and philosophy and ignored the Indian administration and philosophy. Next, education became the priority of those who could afford it, and hence only the rich Indians benefited. Actually, English education was costly, right? They had to pay fees, while most of the Indians in those days were very poor, so they could not survive in this regard. They could not get education in this regard. So these are the positive and negative aspects of British policies. Now let me to say what was the social impact. It was the impact on education. There was the impact of British education. Now we have to see what was the social impact. Actually, what happened? The British wanted to bring change in Indian society because they thought that our culture, our custom, I mean Indian cultures, ah, custom, tradition, and cultures of Indians were barbaric. They did not like it. I mean, they dislike us. They considered Indians, right, Indian, Indians as barbarian, inferior, and discriminated against them. Actually, barbarian means uncivilized, very violent, right? And inferior, I mean very low, and discriminated. I mean, they are not equal to them. Even in Indian society, Indians were not equal. They were divided in caste, creed, community, etc. It is why they want to bring change. No doubt, this thought of them was wrong to some extent. Now, but they wanted to bring change. Next, some English educated Indians also wanted to bring change because they wanted to free the Indian society from the evils, superstitions, superstitions, matlab blind faith and rituals, right? And it is why they opposed it and the government helped them and many changes were brought. For example, sati system was blocked. I mean, uh, banned in 1829. Female infanticide, I mean killing of girls was banned by the law in 1870. Child marriage, I mean in those age, in early age, marriage was done. That is why it was banned in 1929 and age was increased from 28 to 21, right? Earlier it was 12, then it was made 18, after that 21. And widow remarriage, widow were not allowed to marry. So Ishwarchand Vidyasagar took initiative in this regard and he was held by the British government and Widow Remarriage Act was passed according to which widows were allowed to remarry. Next day we will do it because actually we have to explain it lightly, right? Because okay, now time is going to be over. Let me to stop it. I am going to mute you, unmute you all. Let me to see. Okay.